YouTube, good morning. It's your boy, the All-Star Transporter, and I'm back again. Hope everybody had a great weekend. We out here on this glorious Monday morning. I want to give God thanks for allowing us to be out here, always keeping us safe on these roads and, blessing us to make some money. I'm out here outside the port. I figure, before my appointment time, I'll talk to y'all a little bit about, the differences between DRYVAN, flatbed, and containers, which is what I haul. See that little orange box back there? Yeah. So, I'm gonna just jump right into it. What is DRYVAN? DRYVAN is those 53, 48 foot trailers that, are just regular boxes. Some are made out of aluminum, many are made out of just plain wood, and DRYVAN is used to haul generalized freight, that don't need no special temperature or anything of that nature. With a DRYVAN box, you could go ahead and secure your load using straps or load bars. And I think, again, everything I say on this platform is just solely my opinion. I'm not a professional in knowing everything regarding each lane. I'm just going off of all my experiences and what I see, what I do a little bit of research on. So, just all my opinion. And to say that, I think DRYVAN is the one lane more people run than anything. I think more drivers do DRYVAN freight than any of the other type of lanes that are ran. And I think that right there can be a good and bad thing. You know what I mean? Let me go ahead and start off with the good of the DRYVAN situation. I think with DRYVAN, there's a lot more freight for it. It's easy to run. It don't take much knowledge to run it. And personally, everybody needs something that goes into a DRYVAN. So definitely a good lane to run. Now on the other side, there's cons to running DRYVAN, such as, again, a lot of more people run that lane. So you gotta deal with the competition. You gotta deal with a supply and demand situation. So demand, supply is high, but the demand is low. So guess what? The rates for DRYVANs are low. You know what I mean? And then another big con to running DRYVAN is a lot of it is, bump the dock. So you got to get loaded at the shipper and you got to get unloaded at the receiver. And on each side, it could take sometimes a couple of hours, so that's already 4 hours right there out your trip that, you got to account for. And that's 4 hours is not making money. Us out here, we don't get paid by the hour, a lot of us. We get paid by the mile or by the load. So the faster you can get a load done, the more money you can make. You know what I mean? So definitely a con to that. And the same goes for reefer, which in my opinion, I put it under the same category as DRYVAN. All a reefer is a DRYVAN with a cooler on it. You can keep that freight at a certain temperature as you transport it. The only downside to that, other than DRYVAN, is that now you got to put diesel in your reefer unit. However, the rates for reefer are typically higher than that of DRYVAN, so you could make a little bit more money. But same scenario, in my opinion, as DRYVAN for reefers. Now, next, I want to talk about flatbed. Now, flatbeds are those trailers that are open that you can get their regular shaped objects on. You can get vehicles, the heavy machinery, and there's different types of flatbeds, which these are the things I consider flatbeds. You got the step decks, you got the low boys, and then you got the regular just straight flatbed trailers. And flatbed is a very good lane to run. The pro to flatbed is a lot of freight out there because they're considered special freight. You got the oversized freight, you got the overweight freight. You're talking about your heavy excavators that go on the low boys. You're talking about your big trucks, things of that nature that go on flatbed. And the rates for flatbed is typically higher, in my opinion, than any other lane, due to, in part, of it being specialized freight, in my opinion. Now, downside to flatbed, which I think, is you're responsible for securing that load. And on flatbeds, because it's not an enclosed box, you have to strap down the load or chain down the load, depending on what type of load it is. And when you have that type of scenario, as you go down the road, things tend to come loose. So you have to stop every hour, every, 100 miles or so to check the securement of your load. And to me, that takes time away from you getting down the interstate to make some money. Safety is first, so you definitely have to do that. Another downside, in my opinion, to flatbed is tarping. A lot of customers like their freight tarped when it's on a flatbed. And with tarping, that not only takes time away from you, but that also puts another responsibility on your head to make sure the tarp is secured the right way and that the freight doesn't get damaged, because then it costs you money again. And also with tarping, like a day like today, it's 25 degrees where I'm at. I don't want to be outside tarping any load or strapping down any load in this type of weather. Yeah, maybe 10-15 minutes to do so, but that's 10-15 minutes outside in freezing temperatures, as opposed to just sitting in your truck, going down the road. Now, I can talk about containers, which is what I haul. To me, my personal opinion, which, I've only done DRYVAN other than this, from what I understand and what I see, I prefer to run containers. It's better for my situation. And why I say that, big pro to containers, many of us that do container haul and port work, we're local drivers. We get home to our families every night and still make good money. To me, that's the biggest pro. Another pro, in my opinion, is pays very good for a local job and has been consistent throughout this whole trucking industry fiasco. I drive 300 miles round trip for my day, and 150 of those miles are loaded miles, and I make $1,000. So you figure well over $3 a mile with half my miles only being loaded. That's less wear and tear on my truck and less diesel being burnt throughout my day. To make decent money, one can't complain about that. Another pro, there's always work in the port. As Americans, most of our products are imported, and when we import products, guess where they come from? The ports. So as long as we're importing products, there will always be work in the port, which I can't complain about, And the final pro, I think, to hauling containers is a lot of it is drop and hook. For me, all I gotta do is just go down to my customer with my loaded container, drop the container and chassis, hook up to an empty, hit the road. With all that being said, it's not always glitz and glamour. The ports can be very rough sometimes. You got the crazy drivers, you got the crane operators that don't give a damn about your equipment. They pick up the boxes rough, they drop the loaded boxes rough, and they're putting wear and tear on your truck, and you're, as an owner operator, it hurts my heart when I see this. So those are one of some of the biggest cons to hauling containers. Another thing is the ports can be long waits. Sometimes you can get into the port and be there 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. You got, most of the days I do get in and out of the port in under 2 hours. But there are days that I've been stuck there for numerous hours, just waiting in line to get in, just to go inside to wait numerous hours again just to get loaded. And that's one of the biggest cons. However, compared to DRYVAN, I wouldn't trade that for anything, because DRYVAN, there's 2 scenarios where you can get stuck waiting, at the shipper and at the receiver. And between those 2 scenarios, I think it will always add up to being more than what I have to wait at the port. You know, it's, for me, I prefer to continue hauling containers, you know, even though they're heavier, but it's just like a little bit more job security, in my opinion, more flexibility to be home, and it's just, you know, a little bit more peace of mind to know that I could get some money in for my family. Not to say none of the other lanes are not good, because all lanes of trucking are amazing. Mark my word. You just got to find your groove in each lane, find what works for you, what works for your family, and trust me, we can all be successful out here. You just got to take time, sit back, and look at the bigger picture, you know. But I appreciate the time talking to y'all. You know, jump in the comments section. You got any questions, anything you feel I should touched on or I missed, you know, just chop it up. I just want to help anyone I can in this industry, just like others have helped me. And when I have the time to, I'm gonna jump on here. I'm gonna use this platform to speak to y'all. You know what I mean? Make sure y'all go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. It don't take much to support. And I'm gonna try to drop more content, try to do more content inside the port. You know what I mean? But I wish everyone a blessed week. Let's get some money this week. Thanksgiving is coming up. Happy holidays to everyone and their family. It's your boy, the All-Star Transporter, and I'm checking out.